There we go. Good morning. It was a slow connection this morning, but I'm here. So if you're here, say hello. All right, ladies. Good morning, good morning. I'm gonna wait for the computer to catch up. I don't know, my internet is really, really slow today. Am I live on Facebook and YouTube? All right, I'm waiting for Facebook. It says I'm not live. There we go. There we go. Now I can see everybody. Good morning, good morning. Yes, I had to go out and go back in. I don't know. My internet connection seems to be very, very slow and sluggish today. I don't know if it's because it's cloudy here. It kind of is annoying though, because you know they just raised our rates and yet it's acting stupid. So okay, all right, I'm just waiting for you guys to find me. I know you thought I was frozen, but I'm here. So let's just give you a minute to catch up here with me and then we'll get started. Yeah, there's one person on. You found me. I think I'm going to delete that other one because it was just a mess. Now my phone's buzzing. And it's a scam, so we're going to ignore that. Okay, I moved that one to trash so you guys can actually see me. All right, you found me. Yay. Yes, the connection was slow and acting dumb, so I had to go back out and come back in. But hopefully we're good now. All right, so today is day 4. We have one more day this week of a full week of stamping. Today I'm going to show you my One Sheet Wonder class. But before we get started with that, I have some housekeeping items. Hi, Joan. Housekeeping items. Yeah, other live was frozen. I deleted it and started over again. I don't know if it's because of the weather, it's cloudy, or what. But I was a really slow connection today, and like I'm on fiber internet, so it's supposed to be really fast. So anyway, just a few housekeeping items. Stamp Fest registration closes tomorrow. You can help me support this family by 2 ways. You can join me at the Alive event and come and create and have a great time on World Card Making Day. And you can, or if you're too far away or you have some other plans, you can always do the add-on class, which all proceeds go to Cindy's nephew's family. He passed away last month with a short, I think he was diagnosed a year before he passed away, of spinal cancer. He left behind a wife and 4 small children. So we're doing this as a fundraiser. So there's 2 parts. You can come in person, or you can do the add-on class, or you can do both. So registration ends tomorrow. So I will post that link again so you can go ahead and sign up for that. Stamp share ends tomorrow. Paper share ends tomorrow. So if you want a sampling of all the new DSPs from the new catalog and also online, the new online ones, this is your chance to get them. It's a 6x6 sampling. So you'll get a quarter pack of each paper, and then you can choose which ones are your favorite. Okay, so that ends tomorrow as well. Yesterday's prize patrol winner was Terry Pittinger. So Terry, you have this ephemera pack, and I know you love ephemeras pack, so that's right up your alley. And then I have another ephemera pack I'm giving away. This one is Good Times Mix and Match ephemera. So how do you get in for today? Prize Patrol. Comment Prize Patrol, share out the video, And then I do have a grand prize I'm going to be announcing tomorrow. Okay, so today we're going to do the One Sheet Wonder. I don't really need to get inside this because I've already used this paper. I decided to go with this gorgeous fall paper. This is actually an online paper. This is from the Gathering Moments collection. So I'm going to show you how to get 16 cards out of this one sheet of paper. This is actually my online class for September. So this afternoon, once I get all the pictures taken and the graphic made, everything's going up, you can go ahead and purchase this online. The online portion, you would get half a pack of the paper, you will get some of the gems, and you will get a pack of the linen thread, the espresso and the old olive linen thread. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna make our first cut. So you can do this for any DSP, and I love One Sheet Wonder, so I thought it was time to do one again. So for your first cut, you're gonna cut at 1.5. You're going to do 2 strips at 1.5. Good morning, Marianne. And you will get a PDF with instructions, and this video will be up for a month on Facebook. It's going to be up on YouTube forever. And then you want to do a cut at 3. So that is half of your 12 by 12 right there. Okay, so we have these 3 strips, 2 at 1.5 by 12, 1 at 3 by 12. Okay, so this next one, we are going to cut at 1.5 again. And then another one at 1.5. I want to make sure I got this right. 1.5. No, this one is at 2. This is a 2-inch. So this one was at 1.5, and this one is a 2-inch. And then this should be a 2.5 inch. Let me see how. So this should be, yeah, yep, I got it right. 2-inch. And then 2.5. So let me show you those strips before we cut any more. Okay, so here's your 12 by 12 DSP. Or you could cut 3 at 1. No, I'm not going to confuse you. So 1.5, 1.5, 3, 1.5, 2, 2.5. Okay? All right, so then we're going to layer these together for the first card. So we are going to cut 6 of these. These are 4 inches. 1.5, and these are 4 inches. So it's 1. That's 2, 4, and 6. So you have 6 strips at 1.5 by 4. So that's for your first card. Okay, for the second card, we have the 3-inch strip. You are going to cut those at 4 inches. So you'll have 3 of those. So this is a 16 card. You can get 16 cards out of 1 DSP. Okay, so we have 3 at 4 inches. And then this strip here, we are going to cut at 1.5 inches. So it would be 1.5 by 1.5. And then this strip, we're going to cut this at 5.5 because this is just one single card. Okay? And I know this might be confusing. You can go back and watch the replay if you want to try it yourself, or you can order the class and get the PDF will have all the instructions, and then you can come back and watch this. Okay, so this one is the 2-inch piece, so we're going to cut these at 2 inches. We're going to do 4 of those. And then we have this piece you're going to use for a card. These 4 pieces, these 4 2x2s, and the 4 1.5 by 1.5 inch squares are going on the same cards. So then we have this one, and then we have this piece. This piece is, so we're going to cut this at 2.5, and we're going to cut these by 4. So we'll get 3 out of here. Thanks, Corinne. Okay, so there we go. Let me bring these all in. Now, this is not an original idea of mine. This actually came from my friend Mary Nape at Stampin' Piece. She does all kinds of one-sheet wonders. But I thought it was kind of cool, and it was with this gorgeous fall paper. So here is your strips. Here's your cards. And here. So this is enough pieces for 16 cards. Now all you have to do is you have to pull the colors from here and start layering with your cards. So I'm going to put these to the side because I'm going to make these later. And then I will post these later. So we're going to go ahead and work on the cards. Okay, so here is the first set of cards. This is this 1.5 by, there's 2 strips that were 1.5 by 12, and we cut them into 4-inch strips. So we got 3 of these. So I already did these ahead of time. So this is six cards out of here. Okay, so the base of this one is Old Olive, 5.5 by 8.5. You can add a piece of white on the inside for writing. And then I took a piece of Cajun Craze, and this is 5.25 by 4, and I ran it through the matching folder, the Gathering Leaves folder. So that's going to be our next layer. Now, I'm not going to add greetings to all of these. I'm going to add greetings to this one so you can actually see, and then you can know that we can add greetings. Hi, Pat. Yes, Prize Patrol. Okay, so I'm going to layer this on all 3 of these. So Espresso, Crushed Curry, and then the DSP. They are all 1/8 of an inch bigger, or I'm layering 1/8 of an inch. So if this is 1.5 by 4, this would be 4 1/8 by 1 7/8, or 1 5/8, and so on. So it's just 1/8 of an inch bigger for my layers. But like I said, you will get instructions so you won't be left alone. So here we go. We're going to add this. And I have some, I kind of wasn't sure. So I think you're going to do this one across here, maybe. Let's do the smaller one. So I'm going to stamp a greeting. Let's get the greetings from the set over here. Let's do Thinking of You. And we'll do it in black. We're going to I caught the edges on that one, so I'm going to flip it over. There we go. Thinking of You. We will pop it up. And if you wanted to, you can actually cut out some of those leaf shapes and put them all around. So, thanks for Prize Patrol, ladies. I'm going to stick that there. I got that ink on my glass mat. Actually, let's do something else with this. See, you guys are seeing me create in real time. Let's put this here and that there. How about that? That adds to the card. So we're just going to add this, bring out a little bit of the gold, and pop this up. And this is the modern oval folder, punch that I used for this. And there we go. And then we're going to just sprinkle some of these matching gems around. How about that? There you go. So there's the first one. And like I said, there are 6 of those. So 6 of those in the sheet. All right, moving on. The next ones, here's the next one. So this is the 4x3 panel that you cut. Yeah, the gold really makes it pop, 4x3. So then we are going to do, the base once again is Old Olive 5.5 by 8.5. I have a piece of the Cajun Craze that I ran through that folder. That'll be our next layer. But yeah, this is my my at-home class this month. So I will be posting all that info later this afternoon. I just have to take some pictures and get that information up. Once again, I'm using espresso and crushed curry with the DSP, and it is 1/8 of an inch layering. So this is a 4x3. So this is a 4 1/8 by 3 1/8, and then 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. Okay. And I have a bunch of punches here, so let's use, I went to use a label punch from yesterday. Here it is. Okay, let's just do a gold. I love adding that gold. So I might just have to go over there and find some more gold scraps. But anyway, so let's layer that. And let me see. Nope, let's use a smaller one here. We're gonna layer this right here on like this, and then just layer it here. Okay, so this is Thinking of You again. There we go, and then we'll just layer it onto the gold punched label. And pop it up. Of course, guys, we can embellish more too. You can add on some ribbons with the so there we go, with the linen thread, and then we'll just use these gems. I think that looks crooked, but maybe it's because I'm looking at it sort of upside down. There we go. I'm just sort of stamping on my cuff, off the cuff here. I didn't have the greetings kind of all figured out, but I had them in my head. So there we go. So there's those 3. So this is already 9 cards. 9 cards. So let's move right along and bring in the next one. Now this one was a little different. I saw Mary do this and I wasn't sure I liked it, but I thought I would share it with you because maybe you will. So here is this one. And there's 2 of these. So it's a little different. So the base once again is Old Olive. And we have a strip of gold, 5.5 by 2 that we're going to put down the center. And there I got a gold heart sequence on that one. I'm going to put that down the center. And so this is a 3.5 by 3.5. And we're just going to put tape on the back of these and then position them. And they're sort of off the square. They don't have to be on the square for this technique. And once you pull it all together, it kind of looks good. So we're just going to go up here a little bit. And then I'm going to go opposite down here. That heart sequence wants to hang out. Then we're just going to move this one over here this way. Sort of abstract. Yes, the gold really pulls it out, and they have the gold, and I think the gold foil is an online thing. It's not in the catalog, so you can still get it. So there you go. There you have that part. So we're going to go ahead and layer that on. I kind of want to do, let's see once. Let's do a gold hexagon. See. A greeting for this one. Well, let's punch one and see what I think. How about that? Gold hexagon. Oh, well, let's use this maybe. Nah, that's a little much. I don't really like that. That is a little bit too much. Let me just get a strip and see what I think. I have an idea. I'm just going to cut down the strip. See here. I just kind of want a strip to go across here. Let's do our little banner ends. Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure what greeting I want to put on here, because I think these aren't wide enough. I mean, hey, let's do this one. Many thanks. There we go. We can put this right here. That is really wet. I'll pop this up. I want to be careful. Looks like that my memento pad is really wet. Yes, the gold really adds to it. I want to put this across here. Let's bring some twine and just do a little bow. I have a mess here. You should see it. I'm going to clean that up as soon as we're done here. Just going to stick that right on there. What do you think? I think that works. Okay. And then you can embellish with gems if you want, but I think that really works. Let's put a little gem right here. There we go. So that's a little bit of different one. So there's two of those. Two of those. So this one is really simple. This one we're just going to layer right there on the gold. And then we're just going to do something fun, something different here. I almost did that on the... There's only one of these strips. So... Okay, so I have the leaf somewhere. Here's espresso. Here we go. There's one. All right, I am going to stamp this leaf on here. I should take a picture. I have stuff everywhere. Everywhere. I just want to punch that out. And what circle punch is going to work for that? Let's do the 2-inch. We're going to use Thinking of You. And I'm just going to stamp this right here. Thinking of You. And then I'm going to layer it. I have a 1 7/8, so let's go with some gold for that. Let's go with some gold for that. And let's just stop there maybe. What do you think? That's about the same inch. 1 7/8. You know what? I have an idea. Let's go with this. All right, let's go with this. We'll layer this on here like this. Okay. And then that'll be our tag. And we're going to pop this up. Let's pop that up right there. And let's do another little bow. The neat thing about One Sheet Wonders is once you get all your layers and all your pieces, they go together so quickly. And then you have, these would make great gifts. So you could give somebody a whole 16 pack of cards. And then if you do any stamping for yourself, you could just like do them and then not add the greeting until you're ready to use it. I'm just going to put a little one right there with the leaf. And let's add in a couple gems. Let's see right down here. There we go. So there's only one of those. Okay. So that's 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. And here is 13. Remember the other day when I showed you this, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this big leaf, right? Well, we are going to use it for this card front. It works okay. So this is another piece. This is the 4x2, I think. So we're just going to actually layer that by itself right here. And then I have this leaf that we're just going to pop up. Now I did run the paper through the folder. So it's got the Gathering Leaves folder, it's got the texture, and then the leaf. But like I said, you could get this class. You'll get your card kit and all your bases and everything will be cut. You just have to cut your DSP and then you can go to town. Okay, I'm gonna add the baker's twine to this. And glue dots. And there we go. And then let's add a gem or something. Let's add some up here. And for this one, the greeting would be on the inside. Or you could add just a little thing here. But yeah, so you would get white in here, and then you can add your greeting on the inside. But there you go. So there's one. That's a single one. And then we have one more set. One more set of 3. Okay, so here we go. So this one, yeah, I do too. There's another leaf in there too. So yeah. Okay, so this one, once again, 8.5 by 11. And then we have these 3 pieces. So this is a 3 by 4, and like I said, these are all, they should be 1 1/8 inch. This brown looks like it's a little bigger. I'm gonna cut it down a little bit. But you'll get the measurements, and these pieces will all be cut for you. Your layering pieces, just not your DSP. Because you'll get a 1/2 pack of the DSP, and you will get, I think it needs to go a little bit more, actually. And I am creating on the fly here this morning, some of this. So you actually get to see what goes on in my head when I'm making things. There, perfect. Perfect now, as long as this fits. Yep, I'm going to cut this down. But yours will have the correct measurement, I promise. There we go. And I don't know if you realize this, but sometimes our 12 by 12s aren't true 12 by 12s. That could probably be cut down a little bit more. To make it work. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to add that to the upper part here. And we're going to do the circle thing again with the leaf, because I like that. Because I like that. Let's use, let's use a 2 inch here. Then we're going to stamp our leaf. I'm going to stamp the greeting, thinking of you, right there. Are thankful for you. And then we are going to, let's layer it on the hexagon. Layer it on the hexagon. Oh my. My family is here. Okay, we're gonna layer that on there. Dimensionals. Stamp this, lay that right there. We're going to do a ribbon with the, Miss Ellie just came in the door. Okay, and then we're going to layer this on the card with glue dots. If I can find, there they are. If I can find my glue dots in this mess. But yes, this is the class I'm offering online this month at home. So we're just gonna layer that there. And then we're just gonna embellish with some of the gems. So you get a pack, you get gems, you get the baker's twine or linen thread. And then you will get your card kit and 1/2 pack of the DSP. So there's 3 of those. So that is 16 cards. So let me pull them all in. All right, all these cards. And here are all the other bases. So ton of cards, 1 sheet wonder. And you'll have several sheets to make that with. Okay. There you go. Alrighty. So I love how they turned out. I love adding that extra little bit of gold to them to make them just a little elegant. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Remember to comment Prize Patrol if you're watching the replay for the giveaway tomorrow, and I'll announce that tomorrow. Tomorrow is our last day. This is the in-home class that I will get registration and everything ready and out later today. Stamp Fest closes tomorrow, as well as my paper share. And the in-studio classes this month are on the 22nd.